next CEO, who is Nicole Brewster. Nicole has had a successful private corporation background in the mineral exploration industry, both as a property owner and an exploration contractor and a management consultant. She's here to talk to us today about her company, Renforth Resources. So Nicole, take the stage.
Thank you very much for joining me. I am Nicole Brewster. I'm the president and CEO of Renforth Resources. As you can see, we trade on the CSE and the OTCQB in Frankfurt. As the tagline says, we are Quebec nickel backed by a gold deposit also in Quebec. And I guess I can move this forwards. Duly cautioned, you're familiar with these statements. So we are an extremely well-located junior exploration company. You see our two main assets, the Malartic Metals package and the Parbec gold deposit, both located on and south of the Cadillac Break in Cadillac and Malartic, Quebec. This gives us road access right over both properties, hydroelectric power lines over our Malartic Metals package. There's a rail line adjacent to each property, as well as the roadways, and you can see we're accessible to all the major market centers, including the Bécancour battery camp being built in Quebec. Detail of our projects, the Malartic Metals package, the main focus of this vast property, it's about 275 square kilometers, is the Victoria mineralized trend. It's a 20-kilometer long mineralized structure. It gives us fundamentally nickel and zinc. Also on that property, we have a look-alike, Lalonde, which is 3 kilometers to the north. We have two other locations where the same mineralization shows itself at surface. There's also pegmatites on the property, and we have a copper discovery in the very north part of the property. And you'll see quite close by is our Parbec gold deposit. We're going to first talk about the Malartic Metals package, specifically the Victoria trend. So as I said, it's 20 kilometers long. It's clearly evidenced in it's magnetic. So it's an ultramafic, which is very easy to spot due to its magnetism. It gives us nickel, cobalt, platinum, and palladium. And that's interlayered with a VMS, which is unfortunately not easy to spot with geophysics. But the VMS gives us zinc, copper, gold, and silver. Along the 20 kilometers, the thickness in north-south terms of the package is between 150 and 500 meters, as seen on surface and in drilling. And the package contains 3 mineralized horizons. We've drilled it off for about 2.5 kilometers. It hangs together. We've stripped the surface. We know it's there. We know it's big. And we also know we're a junior mining company that has to stretch dollars very far, because a few speakers have spoken to the biggest challenge in my business is access to capital. So when you have the capital, you've got to stretch it. As a result, Renforth is entirely comprised of contractors and has a very low sustaining cost. CSE contributes to that. And we put the money in the ground. That's 10,000 meters of drilling. We're in the process of we're speaking to a QP. I don't know if the 10,000 meters is enough to get us to a maiden resource over the 2.5 kilometers. I'm awaiting a proposal that will tell me that. I'm suspicious we have to do a bit more drilling at Victoria. You'll see here, though, that is the way the mineralization looks subsurface. Our deepest pierce point is about 200 meters, but it does start on surface as well. We have ample targets left. There's lots to do. It really is just a matter of money. One of the magnetic ultramafic makes the job easy, and for both Victoria, Lalonde, and the 2 other occurrences, the mystery on the property is the VMS. In order to understand, we know we have a huge property. We know we have 4 occurrences, and actually, oh, it's not here. I'm not going to go that far back. In the middle, we know we have more ultramafic materials, so we know we have lots and lots of low-grade sulfide nickel. It is pretty much in the 0.2 range. We've drilled 3.4% nickel, but that was an outlier. But in order to see, my challenge as the entrepreneur is to see, is there actually a path to market for this? Could this, with a whole bunch of work, be a mine one day? So we took material and we sent it to Tomra in Germany, which is pre-concentration technology. If you heard, we've heard that talked about already during this conference. But due to the sulfide nickel, we can pre-concentrate the material. So we can take our low-grade nickel, we can pre-concentrate it, raise the grade, reduce the environmental impact, the water used, the chemical used, et cetera, and we could envision a conventional milling production scenario here. So what else are we doing? Well, you can see we did stage 1 of the pre-concentration. We have to do stage 2. We're exploring the VMS. We've had geologists, and I'm awaiting results anytime now, sampling the VMS on surface along the lumber road. We're trying to figure out where the VMS goes. We know we're at the distal point, but we could take what is a zinc-nickel system and start to emphasize the copper. We'll see. We will do some metallurgical characterization, again, making sure we can conventionally produce this stuff in the future. What else is on this vast property? Boprey. It's a copper-silver discovery. Very north part of the property. You see the little pink lines there. Helpfully, there's no geophysics. You see the yellow dots in the middle of the geophysical lows. However, what we have done is we've stripped it over 175 meters. We see some evidence of stockwork and brecciation, which is great, but it doesn't really give us anything, another direction. We have to drill it. The history is it's an 8% copper grab that was made by SOCHEM. That was the discovery. It's chalcopyrite and bornite. Is visible mineralization on surface, and it's a new copper story, which is exciting. We have no real detection techniques. We did do some soil survey work, and interestingly, we came up with 3 lines of gold in soil anomalies. We're very close to the Cadillac break. So Boprey continues to evolve. There's no answer there. Pegmatites. Everybody wants to talk about lithium, and I don't. We have pegmatites, we have lots of pegmatites, but we've not yet found spodumene in any of the pegmatites. We have found other things, but they're LCT pegmatites, and it's just a matter of keep checking them. We're in the right environment. Where things are interesting is our Parbec gold deposit. It is a historic deposit on the Cadillac break. It's adjacent to the Canadian Malartic mine property. It's on strike of the old East Amphi mine to the southeast. To the northwest, there's nothing. It's all owned by Agnico. My neighbor in every direction is now Agnico. We have taken the geology, which always presumed that the gold on the property was in the Cadillac break and running northwest to southeast. We've proven that, in fact, the gold is extending into the Pontiac sediments. We've done the first mapping of the Pontiac-Cadillac break contact. We can see lenses that are replicated looking on level plans. Of course, that's what we're looking for in this environment is a plunging chute. We are in the midst, I announced it on Friday, of doing a resource recalculation. The existing resource dated May 2020 was valid in December of 2019. It therefore excludes 15,000 meters of our own drilling carried out in 20 and 21. It also excludes drilling from the 80s and the 90s that was deemed historic. So we will be bringing to the new resource calculation some of these intervals of high grades or long widths that occurred in the 80s, the 90s, and the 20s and 21s, and it totals 28,000 meters. There's approximately, if my memory's correct, 60,000 meters drilled on the property. That's a lot of data we'll bring to the new MRE. We've got coarse gold. It's quite exciting. It is a high-grade deposit in a low-grade camp. Everybody's mining the vestiges of their deposits. We still have the high grade. We've reoriented how we look at the deposit. We can see that the Cadillac break is plunging under the Pontiac sediments that obscure the break. We do start at surface, and there's the outline of some of the lenses which we've modeled on level plans, and they have vertical continuity. This is all pretty exciting stuff if you're a geologist, which I'm not. But just for fun, this is the vestige of something I did for shareholders. These are thin sections showing you the free gold that we have at Parbec. The next slide explains to you we know we have a nugget effect at Parbec. So what are some of the things we're doing? Well, updated 43101, I've told you that. We're permitting surface stripping. The reason for that will be to bulk sample the material that is at surface in the Pontiac. We are commencing permitting dewatering the decline that's in place. The decline terminates near the highest grade material. We won't advance the decline, but it was pushed through what we now know to be mineralized material never mapped or sampled. We have taken core this past week, which we will be sending to Tomra in Germany to see if we can sort the core and again concentrate the grade. There's a lot of low grade. What was when this property was last worked in the 80s, it was waste rock. It's 0.2% gold. Nobody cared about that then. Of course, in the current gold environment, we care about that, especially if we can pre-concentrate it and raise that grade. So we will test the Tomra. This is our nugget effect, which we know we have. So one thing we actually did, and this is where, mining, we've been talking a lot here about mining gets a bad break. It's because we're our own worst advertising. But deploying technology, there's a lab in Val d'Or, which takes a larger sample size, and it assays it without destroying the material or using chemicals. So we've just taken 20 drill holes, I think, samples from them. We're going to test it, partly because there's also silver at Parbec, never been assayed for. So that'll also answer our nugget effect question, though, too, because you lose gold in conventional fire assay. So that, and the other factor that didn't make it into this for the new 43101 is, of course, the price of gold. When the 2019 was calculated, it used $14.50 US. They'll use a higher trailing price now. So I think I covered it all. Junior company, raising money, access to capital. I consistently raise it. I consistently spend it. I'm very efficient. So go to the website, join my mailing list, watch what I'm doing. But it's exciting. The nickel is exciting. The plan is to try and monetize the gold deposit to fund work at the nickel. That's the big picture here. And I've held the gold deposit for 4 years when nobody cared about little gold deposits and said no to many offers to purchase it. Hopefully now we can update the resource and capitalize on that asset. And then bring a new nickel story to life in Quebec. That's all I got.